live video because I've got stuff to do. So I thought I'd take a half hour just to say, hey, and tell you what's on my mind this morning. Anyway, I want you guys to think about what's going on with Gina in this way. She was the target, but she's not the main target. She was the soft spot. She was the perceived the weak link. I believe strongly that the moment Jon Favreau said, I can fix what's broken, Kennedy went on the warpath. Very Machiavellian. I think what she's trying to do is to force Favreau to quit. She's trying to force his hand. If you haven't watched Doomcock's video on this, the latest one, please go watch it. The reason why is because there's a lot more to it. Jeremy at the Quartering also said that he's very upset about what's going on. But yeah, I think that he's the target. And the reason simply is this. He is Kennedy's competition. Him and Feige both, but she can't move Feige out. John is one of us. She hates us. Ultimately, he's standing in her way of totally destroying what was great about Star Wars. He's reviving it. And, Gina, with her questions and her logic and her unwillingness to kowtow and bend the knee, became what Kennedy, in her Harry High School, Machiavellian, I would say very, very sort of low rent Machiavellian way, looked at Gina as a way to get to John. Cara Dune, I always say Karen, it's not, it's Cara Dune, was John's character. He built that character to be played by Gina Carano. And she was the only person that he had in mind when he created the character. It was strictly for her. And that was a way to really wound John and hurt the Mandalorian. I want to tell you, this is how people like Kathleen Kennedy thinks. If I can't have it, no one can. Okay? That's exactly what's going on here. You look at bookshelves filled with non-sold High Republic stuff. They've re-enlisted Rian Johnson to start talking Star Wars again to take the heat off. Kennedy is now in hiding. Everything that she's done in her spidery, creepy, passive-aggressive way is backfiring. I mean, we all know who's behind this, right? And we all know ultimately who the target is. I mean, poor Gina just got caught in the middle of this. Kennedy can't say to him, I don't like what you're doing. I want you to quit. I want you to follow my lead. She won't go to Iger and Chapek and bitch about it because I'll tell her, you stay in your box. You stay in your lane. Okay, so instead, she goes behind Favreau's back and basically announces not necessarily firing, because when you look at what the first part of the announcement from Lucasfilm, it's not from Disney. Again, Disney did not do this. Disney was not the one that wanted to set the 40-person Zoom gangbang on Gina. It was Kennedy. It all points to her. Basically, the announcement merely said is that Gina's no longer working with them and never will in the future. That's it. No contracts have been signed for whatever. Favreau had been talking to Gina about Rangers of the New Republic, which I think would have been a great show. And I'm going to say this. I sense a James Gunn thing here. I think within a few months, Gina will be back, I think, when this is all over. And I think eventually when Kennedy is gone. And, she could be gone tomorrow. I mean, with Kennedy in quote unquote hiding and this not going away with the videos on the Oscars thing, I don't think they've uploaded anymore. Because the moment they upload it, it gets bombarded with, we hate her. And I mean Kennedy. Good morning, John. So, I kind of go, I sense that there's movement going on. And because Favreau has to finish, Boba Fett, the book of Boba Fett, Tamara Morrison was interviewed talking about it recently, that it's going to be very interesting to see what happens within the next week, the next 2 weeks, because I think everything's gone to a head. This has gone too far. Like Clownfish TV, Neon and Kiki, saying it's like 2017 all over again. We're still in the same goddamn place. Only I think right now it's worse. And the reason simply is this. The fans got a taste of what it could be. And then Kennedy, in her, if I can't have it, no one can, Maleficent, Cruella de Vil bullshit, stuck her nose where it didn't belong. I mean, if we're to believe that the only people that Favreau and Filoni answer to is Iger and Chapek, what the fuck is Kennedy doing? I mean, that's the thing that really just sort of makes me go, what's going on here? Now, I think that Gina, this is a theory of mine, that Gina has talked to John. I think that they're probably on the same page. What Jeremy said is that Jon Favreau doesn't like the politics at all. He thinks it's stupid. I think he thinks, and I know he's upset. I mean, I do believe that he was told after the announcement of whatever that was, and he got pissed, and I think he still is pissed. And I think that basically Kennedy has got people that are very powerful against her right now. They're named Bob Iger and Bob Chapek. They liked what Favreau was doing. They ultimately are the judge and jury of what happens with Lucasfilm. Not her anymore, regardless of what she says. She doesn't run Disney. And I can't imagine, well, I know that they're receiving hate mail. I know they're receiving angry emails. I know they're receiving angry phone calls. I know that, again, look at the Oscars page. Look at everything on Instagram that's related to Disney Plus and Star Wars. Look at Facebook. Everywhere they've got an internet, a social media presence, they're getting bombarded with, what the fuck did you think you were doing? We want Cara Dune, fire Kennedy. And I'm sure investors are going, now the QE earnings, Q2 quarterly earnings report, QE2 report is coming up in early May or March. And it's going to be a lot lower than, there's going to be investors meeting on, I think it's March 5th. And it's going to be a lot, it's not going to be a good day for Disney. It's going to be more dismal Disney. It's going to be more dreary, horrible, awful Disney. Now you got to remember, this is a company that's probably $100 million in debt. Yeah, Kevin could be, and that's a big deal. So if that's a good one, Paul. Ooh, I didn't even think about that. So you've got, and I'll tell you something else. Yes, of course, it is messing Marvel up. Tell you something else. You've got Jon Favreau pissed, and Dave Filoni. Morning, by the way. You've got the Bobs pissed, and now you've got their big gun, Kevin Feige, pissed. And there's Kathy in hiding. That was somebody I did not think of going, you know, but so we've got, all right, let's go back to my original point. We've got a company that's probably $100 billion or more in debt. We've got a company that laid off 100,000 people. We've got a company that has had massive PR problems with those layoffs and then giving executives bonuses. Okay. There's a problem. There's a big problem going on here. Okay. And it is now exacerbated. Well, this is now exacerbated by the Carano situation. Dakare, silence is either consent or deadly. Okay? You can look at it either way. We don't know what's going on behind the scenes because, like, when they let it slip out that Headland is developing a show for streaming, they didn't know about it. It just came out. That's what Kennedy does, is that she'll just do something. It'll come out, and then what are they going to do about it? Okay. And I think you can only pull that play twice or once. I think if you try it again, I think then it's over. I mean, when you go and, if you haven't watched Doomcock's video, go and watch and see how they treated Gina from the get-go. The argument that she had with Pablo Hidalgo, and it was Pablo, not Pedro, Pablo, she and Pedro are friends. She cussed him out. I mean, all up and down, like, the entire West Coast. Very interesting to me. And the reason simply is this. I find it fascinating that it's starting to come out slowly just who is behind this effort at Lucasfilm to get rid of her and to basically harm. And I mean, these people are too stupid. They think it's about Gina. It's not about Gina. Kennedy's real problem is with Favreau, and now it's with Feige, and that is a fight she'll lose because Feige and Favreau are friends. Okay, you don't get between the guys. If you're a woman, you stay out of that shit. And that's her ultimate problem. That's the irresistible force shield, I think. But like I said, Gina was just a target, and they pummeled her and pummeled her. This 40-person angry 40, and not, I'm gonna say this, not, out of 40 people, probably 1 or 2 were trans. Okay, that's maybe 1, maybe 1, maybe 2, maybe 1. I think a lot of those people who were insulted were probably just woke, straight, white women who were feeling like mean girls. And when you peel back the onion, they just didn't like Gina because she wasn't like them. Okay? Again, this is Harry High School bullshit, and that's ultimately, and Kennedy used that. She used the crybaby, Mommy, Gina was mean. Hey, Maze. Mommy, Gina was mean to me. Just make her go away. That stuff. And, you know, she just used it to ultimately to hurt Favreau. This is not going to go over well for her. Okay, I didn't think of Feige being on this. The reason why it hurts Feige is because he's developing a Star Wars movie. Who's going to want to watch it? As long as she's there. As long as this shit keeps going on. And ultimately, we're the targets. You remember Pablo's little bullshit move towards Star Wars theory? Then he made it public so everybody could see it. That was at us. And you're right, Eastland. You're right. This is hairy high school bullshit, and it has to stop. This is not the way you run a professional company. Okay, now I'm going to tell you something. Remember the story from Pirates and Princesses that somebody high up connected to Star Wars said, if this stuff at Lucasfilm isn't cleaned up, I'm walking. Okay, add Kevin Feige to the list of possible people. All right, any one of the big three. Any one of the big three. Favreau's my number one choice. Favreau's my number one choice. Then you've got Feige. Then you've got Harrison Ford. Any one of those guys is a nightmare for Kennedy. Kennedy, what I love about this is Kennedy perceives someone to be weak when they're not. I mean, you know, first off, she's stupid. You never ask a question you don't know the answer to. You know, you don't. Okay, I mean, that's a lawyer's rule. Okay. She should have asked a question, just how weak is Favreau right now with his success? Not at all. Not at all weak. The investors love him. The fans love him. I need to let this go. I need to enjoy the ride until I'm done. I mean, she's almost 70 years old. It's time to retire. It's time to go to the beach house and bother Frank all day with bullshit. Okay? And then he goes for a beach walk with his dog, you know, to get away from her. That's what she should be worried about. She should be enjoying the fact that something of her tenure at Lucasfilm is going well, instead of it being nothing but a damn dumpster fire. And instead, she's turning into a fucking mafia boss, and she's not good at it. I mean, she's just acting like a high school mean girl. I mean, you know, and now she's in hiding. I mean, it's like, look, face the consequences. You know, I mean, go home and face consequences. Or go to the studio, go to the meetings, you know, and go and sit down with the Bobs and face the consequences. You fucked up. You never should have, I mean, first off, anybody who knows Twitter knows 90% of those tweets were sent by fake accounts. At Gina, were sent by fake accounts. She even said so. Okay, so why are we taking Twitter seriously? Twitter's on the way out. It is not relevant at all anymore, as in my opinion. Because we all know what's really going on over there. It is a sewer of fake accounts and like five real accounts screaming, and it's the same account screaming over and over and over again. And the moment it goes to subscription, and it will, Twitter will cease to exist and cease to be relevant. Disney will still use it to make media announcements and, you know, post links to news and all the rest of that stuff. But no one's going to take it seriously anymore. I mean, no one does. When we take seriously, go and watch Gina's YouTube video. And then go and look at what's going on the Oscars channel. Go and look at the Star Wars pages on Facebook and Insta. In the Disney Plus pages. It's a massive backlash against what this woman went and did behind everybody's back. You know, I can't imagine being such an immature weakling that having someone with a different opinion would be that big of a threat. But then I thought, again, because Gina was saying things they didn't like, and Kennedy is pissed off about Favreau anyway, this is a way to get rid of John, forcing him out. But the problem for Kennedy is that the problem with Kennedy is Favreau is not weak. He's got the backing of the Bobs and the backing of Kevin Feige. And in an argument or a debate about who's been more successful, Kevin Feige kicks her skinny, bony ass all over the place. Okay? And she should have known better. She should have said, look, we just got to let this go. Ignore it. And please tell Jason Ward to stop harassing her. Oh yeah, that's what I can. That's my opinion. I bet you $1,000 he was in the middle of that 40. He was going to be part of that 40-man gangbang Zoom call. I bet you $1,000. Okay, I'll bet any money. This is, I mean, and I'll tell you, the people that were butthurt are people that would not say a word to you in to your face. I mean, I'm shocked that Pablo. I'm shocked that Pablo, he just knocked out his water ball, was ballsy enough to do what he did. I'm like, really? I'm shocked that, but I'm not shocked at her reaction. She's Italian after all, okay? And you rub the person the wrong way, and you're gonna have that temper tantrum. You're gonna get that in your face. And you know, Pablo might be Latino, but in that argument, she wins. Okay. I'm really just like shocked now at the audacity when I look at the back at 2020 vision. When I look back, I'm shocked at the audacity of these people, and the reason is they should have known better. You know, this is this kind of stuff. This isn't even office politics. This is just immature, angry bunch of, you know, echo chamber dwelling 5-year-olds who can't deal with reality. I don't even understand what you're talking about right now, Eastland. I'm trying to look at what you're saying, but I can't keep up with it. You know, and it's this is just it's true. I mean, think of the maturity of some of the tweets you've seen from Matt Martin, Pablo before he went and hid because Disney slapped his hand. And oh, by the way, I'm going to tell you this: the apology Pablo made public to Star Wars Theory was forced by Disney, not Kennedy, by Disney. Okay. And there's the difference. Okay. It's just really shocking. Again, that we're sitting here basically talking about the same stuff. I mean, this has been going on for the last 4 years. Disney has lost billions on Star Wars for the last 4 years because of this shit. And Iger just goes, you know, and, you know, I heard rumors that he wanted to see who would be more successful. So there's like a competition going on. I think that's bullshit. I just think he brought Favreau in. Favreau was successful. And now, you know, it looks like Kennedy's not going to get her contract renewed. Why would she want to anyway? I mean, you know, and it's just one fucking thing after another now. What do we do? I don't know what we do. I really, really don't. But I do know this. That Gina is collateral. That this wasn't about her. This was about destroying the Mandalorian and Jon Favreau. And I think when Luke showed up and broke the internet, Kennedy absolutely lost her shit. I mean, it's well known among the fandom that she hates Mark Hamill for whatever reason. They both share the same damn political views. I mean, you know, but it's well known that she does. And I really think that she finally said, enough is enough. I'm done. And she pulled the trigger when she shouldn't have. She did something behind their backs again. And, you know, we'll see where this goes. But I mean, if she's in hiding, And I do believe she is. It's not because somebody was sending her death threats and kitty litter. It's because she's scared to death of facing the consequences. That's what an immature person does. They run and hide. Okay. She's on the lam, so to speak. And the reason why is because she knows if she goes and sits down with the Bobs, Feige and Favreau and maybe George Lucas himself will walk in and tell her, get your shit and get out of here now. We have a mess to clean up. The mess you made, us, for us to clean up. It's over, okay? And, I would say a massive amount of pink slips should be sent out after she goes, because my gut says that she's done. Oh yeah, well, Pablo's a Chilean red diaper baby. His father ran from Chile when Pinochet was in power, because he was a hardcore leftist and probably, sat in coffee shops where lazy commies sit and extol the virtues of the worker. Even though when you talk to people raised by communists who aren't, the person, their parent who was a commie, didn't really do anything. I've read too many articles. I mean, when you read The Life of Karl Marx and realize he didn't work and let his kids starve, I mean, that's all you need. I mean, and that's what they do. That's exactly what they do. When you read, I could say something really mean right now about Pablo. Okay. Opportunities were missed. Can you imagine what it would be like if we weren't having to talk about him every 3.5 seconds? All right. We could just talk about Star Wars. Think about that. Think about what a great world this would be. All right. Opportunities were lost. Okay. And that's mean. That's cruel. But after what he did to Gina, I have no F's to give. I mean, he's a bad person. Pablo Hidalgo is a bad person. He's a very angry guy and a very bitter guy. Lucas farce. You're right. It is. It's a farce. But yeah, he's a red diaper baby. Go look up the term if you don't know what that means. Just like Sean Penn, Pedro Pascal's a red diaper baby. That was one of the things that George actually signed in that it would never be renamed. So it ain't gonna happen. But it's time for this immaturity, and we saw it with, your Snoke's theory sucks. I mean, what a waste of DNA that guy is. Okay, really. I mean, if you think about it, this is a case of immaturity on steroids. Okay, and gross. Oh my God, the maze. Do you guys remember the episode where the rich guy, he was kind of actually like Harvey Weinstein, and it was in CSI Las Vegas, and he was addicted to infantilism. He'd dress up like a baby. I mean, it was really gross, and it was so disgusting. Anyway, yeah, well, they have made us a target, and ultimately we're the targets. All right, I thought Snoke was Plagueis. Everybody did, and then he wasn't, because he was a clone. Because Palpatine was a Snoke farmer. That's how stupid this got. Yeah, these people are fake fans. They don't give a shit. Anyway, I gotta go because I gotta clean off my car from the snow and get ready to go run errands. I got an appointment at 11. So I'll see y'all later. Y'all behave and be good. And something goes on, another, Doomcock exclusive drops, I will be here to talk about it. So I'll see y'all around the galaxy. Behave, be well. And, remember the rules at the cantina. Talk to y'all later.